D-Day.
Today we are going to head into Limerick City.
This is our second time trying to do it, so hopefully we get there today.
Yeah. So the first job is we have to take down the canopy. There we go.
Oh.
There we go. Okay guys, today we are doing probably the most important vlog we have ever done. We're taking the boat from Killaloe and we're going 23 kilometers downriver to the city of Limerick. This is not a how-to do video, this is how we do it. Okay, you're welcome to come along and join us. Okay. It's early in the morning, as you might guess, by the fact that there's nobody around. First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to head up river to check the air draft gauge for the bridge. And, air draft is one of the most critical things when you're doing this trip into Limerick. So the air draft gauge for Killaloe Bridge is well up river, it's well above the bridge. It's up just across from the hotel here. It's the Lakeside Hotel, Marion, isn't it?
Yeah, the Lakeside Hotel.
And, the reason it's so far away from the bridge is because you get strong currents here at Killaloe, and if it was too close, you could find out too late that you didn't have enough air draft. And
is it the second one up here that you're going to? It's the first green one, the second one. All right.
It's actually the third green marker up. So there's the air draft gauge. We're showing 3.6. Okay. Right, guys. Now we swing the boat and we head down under the bridge. Right. So one of the key factors coming down to Limerick is getting your air draft correct. You absolutely must know what your air draft is. The bridge here at Killaloe is a very low bridge and the current is very strong, and once you line up for it and you make that decision to go and head underneath it, you can't then bottle out and try and reverse your way out of it, because as soon as you try to do that, the boat will just go sideways. You'll end up hitting the pier and going broadside against the bridge.
These are all things now that I really need to hear before we go under the bridge.
Well, yeah.
Thank you.
So as soon as I get past this last green marker here, my left hand side, I'm going to line her up for the bridge, and that's it. There's no turning back from that point on. Yeah, I'm very confident of our air draft. I'm happy I know what it is, and I'm happy we're going to get onto this bridge with a few inches to spare, and I do mean a few inches, not an awful lot more than that. So with the canopy folded down here, the visibility is a bit restricted. So that's why I'm kind of straining here to see where we're going, and it's a little bit like trying to drive a tank. I just look out to a little letterbox of air that's left in around the canopy. So that's it. There's no turnaround now at this stage. We just give it a little bit more power just to keep our steerage going. If you were to put into reverse now, you really would end up in a state. So you just have to keep going, and you have to be confident. Don't get rattled. Once you're happy you've checked your air draft, all will be good. Here we go.
Check your weight. 5k limit. Doesn't get go any faster than 5k.
Well,
there we go.
Wrong stuff.
First one down.
Okay, that's our first hurdle over, and the good thing about it is that that's actually the lowest bridge on the system from here to Limerick, provided you get your tides correct. So
well, we've been on to Pat, and Pat has more or less told us we're okay to go in.
Yeah.
And Pat is the god of the river.
Yes, Pat likes it. He is like a river pilot, and he's going to be meeting us below the dam.
And you might be able to see on the right hand side up here, there's an old barge. I don't know whether it's a Guinness barge or not, is it, Harry?
No, Guinness's barges were only on the rivers, on the River Liffey. There was no actual Guinness barges on the Shannon itself. When they built the dam here at Ardnacrusha back in the 1920s, they flooded an area north of the dam itself, and there was a number of houses that were lost in that. There was also a little island here called Friars Island, and there was a small church on it. And that church was actually taken apart stone by stone, and it was carried to Killaloe before the area was flooded. And it was rebuilt here at the church in Killaloe up on high ground. Unfortunately, the houses of the people, they weren't so lucky. No. I'm told there's a number of houses still below the surface out here in the what they call the flooded area. That's another queer thing. Like, every other lake on the Shannon has a name. But this lake was created in 1920, whatever, 1926, 27, 28, the late 1920s anyway, when the dam was built. But they never gave it a name. It's just kind of known as the flooded area, which is a little bit, it deserves a name. So
how long is the distance from the bridge down to Parteen Weir?
It's about 6 kilometres.
Is it?
Yeah, 6 kilometres. And then you have another 11 kilometres in the head race. The head race is quite long. I don't know. The tail race is the beautiful part. This is the concrete lined one. There's not a lot to see. I know it's an amazing.
It's lovely because you're up in an embankment and you're looking down. It is.
I know, yeah. But it's a long, and it's easy to get caught out with the current there because there's not many there's reference points in the river. It's only there's one spot where there's a few markers, and at that point you get an indication of what the current is like. But so we're just heading out onto what they call the flooded area. Yeah, and all's going well.
Tipwood.
Bringing her home to Limerick. As we say, this is it's not a how-to video. It's this is how we do it. We've gone into Limerick a few times before. This is our third actual visit into Limerick. And, every time we've been in, I have to say it's been a lovely, peaceful journey in. But there are a number of things you need to watch out for, and I call them the 4 T's. And they are tide, turbines, timing, and team. And what I mean by that is, first of all, you have to check your tides. You have to know what time high tide is, because getting under the bridge, especially if you're a high air draft vessel as we are, it's essential to know when high water is in Limerick, because you don't want to try and get under the bridges when the tide has come in, because that would reduce your air draft. I'll show you more about that later on. The turbines, there's 4 turbines in the dam. Each turbine generates approximately 1 knot of current. And any more than 2 turbines running, and it's a problem. That was why we didn't go in last week. We were due to go in last week, but there was actually 3 turbines running on the day. So I said, no, we've pulled the plug on it. And I'd advise you, if you're after bringing a boat all the way down from Carrigan Shannon or from Lough Erne and you want to get into Limerick, if the turbines are running like that, don't be afraid to pull the plug on it and say, no, it's not safe to go in. The other thing is timing. When we think about timing, you can't get into Limerick in the middle of winter, not in a boat like this. You could go in a rib or in any fast moving vessel that doesn't have an awful lot of air draft. But if you've got a high air draft and a slow moving displacement boat like this, you can't go in during the winter because there'll be too many turbines running. Your only opportunity to get in is during the summer. The best time to come down to Limerick is when, on those rare occasions, you hear the government saying there's a hose pipe ban, you're not allowed to wash your car anymore. That is the day to go to Limerick by boat, because you can be sure there'll be probably 1 or maybe no turbines running, and that will make it a lot easier. The 4th T was team, and that is to team up with another boat. Don't go in on your own if at all possible. And I know it looks like we're going in on our own, but we do actually have another boat behind us, but he's just an hour and a half behind us. We were supposed to be going in together, but we are in communication by telephone and by VHF. So if we do have a problem, we know he's coming up along behind, he'll be able to help us. If he has a problem, we can go back and help him. And it's important to have some kind of buddy system like that. So there are 4 T's. We're well into August now, and the weather has turned decidedly chilly, so I'm after putting on my fleece. Just had a few of a wind up. This is a very exposed lake. The southern part of it especially is built up on ramparts and dikes on either side, and it doesn't have an awful lot of trees or anything around it. It's a high ground, so it's very exposed if you get a wind. Luckily today we're doing okay. There's no great wind out at all at the moment. Although there is wind forecast for this morning, so it'll probably make its appearance later on. I'll move the bicycle over to the right hand side. I normally have it here on the port side of the deck, but I know we're going to be tying up on our port side when we get to the lock. Oh, do you know what? It's bloody cold out there this morning. It was actually milder earlier on than it is now. You see the embankments along the side here, and you see how high up this flooded area actually is. You see that low cloud as well I was telling you about.
And it's cold. New way driving the boat. Keep my feet warm.
That's it, your feet inside.
So, can I just ask you now, we're coming up to the Guillotine Gate, as I call it,
Yeah,
right?
Partine Weir.
Right. Is that manned, or do
Yeah.
they know? I know they know we're coming.
Mhm.
Well, obviously they're not going to say, oh, they're going to arrive in 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Well, this is manned, and the staff here are told that we're on our way. So,
all right, okay.
on the right hand side is the Guillotine Gate that leads into the head race that supplies all the water for the dam. That's where the vast majority of the River Shannon water goes to. On the left hand side, the River Spitz, and that is the old course of the River Shannon. And there's only a small percentage of the water goes down there. Partine Villa Weir, to give it its full title, is big, and it contrasts with everything else in the Shannon, because everything else in the Shannon is green. There's no industry or whatever, and you come down here and you see this massive
Grey.
mass concrete, and it's imposing. It's almost intimidating. Yeah,
Frightening.
yeah, and it would remind us. I think it would remind me anyway, a small bit of the big locks that we went through on the Rhine,
Yeah.
on the River Seine even as well. They were imposing, and
Yeah. But I mean, going into some of the
Yeah.
locks, or going up towards the locks in France, I mean, you have all these shutters the whole way.
the steel shuttering.
Yeah,
and that was ugly looking.
it was.
This,
Yeah.
in fairness, is, while it's not a natural bank, it does actually at least look like one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does actually. Yeah. And I mean, you have lovely
Yeah.
green trees and
Mm-hmm.
houses.
Just
and...
move over here a bit so you're in camera.
Now here we go.
Right, so you can see just on the left hand side, just before that Guillotine Gate, there's a waiting pontoon. If you did arrive along here, if the Guillotine Gate wasn't up, you'd have to tie off onto that waiting pontoon. We were here years and years ago on Trindle, our old wooden boat, right? And this yoke was
When you were
rotten.
young and foolish. Well, I was young and foolish.
And this yoke was rotten to bits. And we came up here. There was no mobile phones these days, and we came up to try and go into Limerick. We booked in, and as we approached Partine Villa Weir, the Guillotine Gate started to close. But there was no jetty here at the time. There was 2 old wooden posts sticking up out of the ground, and we drifted up onto them, and we waited for the gate to open, and it never opened again.
We must have waited about an hour that day.
We did, and there was the current from the weir was quite strong, and that was holding us up against these 2 piers, and I was quite terrified. And eventually we had to turn around, head back into Killaloo, go into a pub, and go an old telephone box with button A and button B, and ring the dam and ask what happened. And apparently there was a mix-up with the
With
days,
dates,
and
yeah.
they thought we were going in the next day, and we thought we were going in this day, and subsequently we missed the tides and we didn't get our chance to go in. So,
Well, as I say, we've done it twice after that, and this is our
Yep.
third time.
so here we are, guys. We're just so there's an air draft gate on the left hand side, but you can't see anything on it. It's completely filthy. It's moss grown over it, so I hope we have enough room here. Oh, this is tight. Well, we'll get through. Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple of feet in it.
Yep. So now, there's also a waiting pontoon, by the way, on this side as well, but you should never need that. So once we're through the gate, we just move to the centre of the head race, and we have 11 kilometres now of head race with 3 bridges, and that will bring us up to the dam. It's getting exciting now, isn't it? It is for us. It's kind of a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it is.
So this is the first of 3 bridges we'll come to on the head race. This is O'Brien's Bridge, and so this head race, this is like just a concrete canal, as I say, 11 kilometers long or 11.5 kilometers long, and all the water in here is heading down to those turbines.
Are the turbines on now, do you think?
I don't think they're on now. Just judging by the current in the water, it doesn't look like. Maybe there's one moving, but I don't think there's much. We still have another 45 minutes at least before we get to the dam. Then we've another 45 minutes to actually get through the dam, descending in it to descend 100 feet. So it's actually the second deepest lock anywhere in Europe. So that's it's a big drop, and it takes 45 minutes to go through it. So we've another hour and a half before we get out the other side, and it's when we get out the other side, then we want them to have no turbines running.
All right, okay.
So we'll see. So what we've done, and this is what we try and do every time we go into Limerick, is we try to time it so that we exit the dam 3 hours before high water. And the reason we do that is at that point the water will have started to come over the weir in Limerick, and that will start to negate a bit of the current. We also you have to backtrack everything then to try and work out what time is the best time to leave Killaloe. You have to allow 45 minutes for the time to go through the dam. Then, believe it or not, you have an hour and a half from Killaloe to the dam. Right, so you have to add all that together and work out at what time do you leave in order to get there 3 hours before high water. So a little bit of maths in it.
But if you got there a few minutes early, I'm sure the lock will hold you back.
I'm sure. Well, I tell you, they don't like you hanging around in the head race because you have turbines there, and there's always the risk that.
And this is the right head race where we're in now.
Head race, yeah.
Right. Okay.
So no, you're not allowed overnight here. You have to just get in, get out as quick as you can. There is, or at least there was, a jetty just above the dam, a waiting jetty there. But that's really there if another boat is coming up and you have to wait. You know, you shouldn't tie up there unless you absolutely have to. Different matter when you're below the dam. Right, when you go through the dam, that's not a bother. You can tie up there, and there's 3 waiting jetties between the dam and Limerick City itself. And this bridge we're coming up to now is Clonlara Bridge.
Clonlara.
Bridge. I beg your pardon.
Say it now in the Limerick accent.
I apologise to all the people from Clonlara.
Well, guys, we're coming up to Blackwater Bridge now, and right behind Blackwater Bridge is the lock. Yeah, a bit apprehensive now, a bit nervous, but I know it'll be alright when we get through. It's just the thought of going in and the guillotine gate coming down, that's what's bothering me. And then we've promised the lockkeeper that I'll cook breakfast for him. So when we go in, Harry is going to do the ropes, hopefully on his own, and I'll be able to go down to the galley and cook breakfast for the 3 of us. Well, it could be 4 of us, I don't know how many are going to be there.
And up ahead there is the dam. Yeah, the guillotine gate is closed. Now this is the sort of problem I don't want.
But I'm back up here, I'll be fine.
So this is it, we're heading into the lock.
Oh my word. We'll be fine once we get in.
We will. Sometimes if you get we're actually sheltered from the wind altogether here at the moment, but I've come into this before where there's a wind behind us and it really whips you in here. And I'll confess to you that I did whack the side of this lock one time. Now, another thing, I'm going to hand over the top of the camera here because we got a little bit of a shower. Hello!
Hello, how are you?
Neelis, is it?
I'm putting on the fry for you. There's a good flow there, Harry. Oh God. Oh, there's a good current here now, Harry.
I'm only a guide us into boats.
Well guys, thanks for watching the video, and I'm sure that you will not want to miss the second part of this. So if you go to the subscribe button on the drop down menu there, click on all, you'll get a notification as soon as the second part of this video is out.
And remember guys, it's free to subscribe. See you in the next episode. Cheerio.